Welcome in.
Hello, folks. There are some football things that happened. I guess we'll talk about it. Just a few little things, nothing special, just a few little things. Yeah. Crazy Tuesday.
Yeah, I think that the NFL is kind of somewhat catching up to all the other sports as far as, trades go. Because in the past, you almost never heard an NFL trade go down. Or, if it was like one major trade a year, but they're starting to happen more frequently now. So, and the other sports, like they do them like all the time with no fanfare, but NFL,
Right.
they never really did them. But now they're starting to catch up to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. It's good to see movement. I mean, it doesn't help us at all, like our team.
Yeah, man, none of my teams were affected, but I don't know. I mean, if you're an Amari Cooper owner, you're happy. You happy that he got away from Deshaun Watson and now he has Josh Allen. So
Yeah,
it's a positive feeling. Yeah, and you're a Devontae owner. You're happy as well because he was dying out there in Oakland. So, well, not Oakland. What is it? Las Vegas. So, if you're owners of those two players, you're happy. I mean, it remains to be seen how they're going to be used, but it's a more prolific offense on both in both instances.
Oh, well, breaking news here, actually. I don't know if you saw this. The hands of God actually came down and laid his majestic glory on Devontae's hamstrings. And thank you, Jesus.
He's a full participant.
Healthy. What a fucking clown, dude.
Wink, wink. I mean, he could have at least faked it until like went with the questionable tag and then just played. No, he's at full practice the first eligible day. But when he was in Las Vegas, it was hamstring. Oh, I'm so hamstrung, I can't do a thing. Yeah.
That's some clown behavior, man. Like that's what you don't want in your locker room. I just don't want that. Like, you quit on your team. That's what you did. You quit on your team and
pretty much
you pouted till you went to your friend. That's what you did. There is zero respect there. Like
they're made for each other. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is an unbelievable prick, and Devontae's a prick now. And I mean, I don't know how long he's been a prick, but he's definitely showing all of it now. So it's like two pricks get to link back up, So
yeah,
more power to him. But yeah, he probably took a pay. I mean, he's learning from the best. And Aaron cloaked him and put him right over his wing. Was like, this is prick 101 here. And he's learned from the best. And he's definitely adapted some of his principles because he is now officially a prick as well.
I feel good
whining prick.
I feel good for Amari because he really, apparently, like, reports came out that he really was like, dude, I don't mesh with this guy. I'm all set. And that's good because, Watson's terrible.
Oh, fair. I mean, I don't know. And Amari, I mean, you've seen his demeanor. Have you ever really seen Amari in an interview all cocky and brash? Or he's a quiet, reserved guy. He just does his thing. And, like you said, I'm happy for guys like that. Not saying that you can't be a vocal person and still be liked,
Right.
but I mean, you don't have to be as quiet as Amari Cooper, but it doesn't hurt that he is. I mean, just do your job. Show up. Pretty sure Josh is thinking like, hey, I got the skill of Stephon Diggs without all the drama of Stephon Diggs
Yeah,
now. You know?
that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's good. I mean, Cleveland is now just an absolute stay away from it. Fantasy.
It's a fire sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. I mean, they were making jokes on the fantasy show I was watching yesterday where they was like, man, just let Myles Garrett out. Like, just start selling everybody. I mean, like, hey, start over because
Pull of Pirates. There you go. Pull of Pirates.
pull of Pirates. You know that better than me.
Yeah, I do. We're not jumping into that one there. We're all set.
Yeah.
Another under the radar move that Cam Akers goes to the Vikings. Who cares?
Yeah.
Really? Just kind of a depth.
My only thought of that, or was that the only underlying tone I got out of that was, is Aaron Jones healthy? Aaron Jones.
Right.
Aaron Jones.
I know.
It looks like it's a harmless
James
injury.
Conner 2.0.
Yeah, somehow it lingers. And when they brought him in, and when they brought in Akers and they're trading for him, I'm like, is that like a indirect message that Aaron Jones ain't healthy? And they want another body in there.
I think it's more of a depth piece.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like Ty Chandler. You're the GOAT. Like, no, dude, we're not. We're all set. They probably just want, they want a better chance to have a running game with a dual back kind of threat while Jones is getting healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it.
I mean, he was there last year, so I mean, he knows the offense. I mean, I'm not going to say he knows it inside out, but he's familiar with it. He was just there last year, so.
Right. So, I don't know. I mean, I saw he got picked up. I mean, I was rostering him for a while, then I dropped him because he no longer suited my needs. Later that day, he got traded, and there was not a part of me that was like, "Oh man,
I need to go back and get him." Yeah,
right. I was like,
I mean, we said on this show before he was like a dirty start. Like you didn't feel comfortable even starting him. Like, oh,
no,
start this dude.
Even when he was the guy, it was like.
No ceiling, no upside whatsoever. It's just like,
which is so crazy because he had such a fall from grace. He was that dude in the Rams.
In the Rams, yeah,
yeah. Few other pieces of news. We'll kind of cover a little bit of the week that we dealt with, and we'll get into the new week.
Okay.
So the trades, obviously, that's the.
If you're under a rock somewhere and you didn't hear about the trades, and I don't want to leave you out there, but those of you that don't know, Devontae Adams went from the Las Vegas Raiders to the New York Jets. Amari Cooper went from the Cleveland Browns to the Buffalo Bills, and Cam Akers went from the Houston Texans to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Just got to throw that out there in case, somebody's like, what are they talking about? But go ahead.
That's a good call out. That's super fair. All the Saints are dead.
That's why I got on this shirt. This is Michael Thomas. Soon as I read your note, because of course you've seen all the little, the sleeper notifications. Yep. Pretty much everyone is dead. This is like paying homage to nobody they have left.
Dude, your Camara play this week is gonna feed fucking families.
I mean, when it's too obvious, sometimes it's just it doesn't work out
Well,
because it's
hold
like,
on. I was gonna get it. I was gonna get to that point. I was gonna get to that point because I definitely ran to the free agency pool and grabbed Juwan Johnson. But I keep forgetting they played Denver on a Thursday. Ugh. Like, and you're right because Cam is going to be wide receiver 1, 2, 3. He may even be a defensive tackle. I'm unsure about that. That's what I heard in the
yeah,
reports.
yeah, he's going to be the running back 1, 2, and 3, and the receiver 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Let me ask you this.
Man,
Let me ask you this. This is something I kind of thought about. Does Kamara get the Surtain treatment?
I don't necessarily seeing a corner come down and like come all the way from the outside and play him that close to the line of scrimmage, but
I mean, Shaheed he's going to go get a surgery now, apparently.
yeah,
Olave's out. Taysom
yeah,
Hill's out.
yeah.
Um,
Um, I see that one dude in our league picked up a Bubba Memes. I was looking at him
yeah,
because by default, there's nobody else there. So I'm like,
right.
man, that might be a sneaky good play for him. But
It's
if
Denver.
Bubba Means is the one wide receiver 1, then he's going to get Surtain.
That guy may just quit football after that.
I know. After like the first series, he's gonna be like, "Hey man, I ain't playing them. I'm going to the locker room, taking a shower." Because
Right. You're like, I'm
man,
gonna go. It's like, oh man, I got that Devontae Hammy now, man. I don't know.
yeah.
But it was
Now
just a thought.
Denver is great, but I don't know. I was a little bit wrong about Denver, man. I don't know. My fantasy leagues this week, I was wrong about a lot. Like Denver defense is still great, but when Surtain went out
Yeah,
with a
he
concussion,
left,
he
man.
left early. Yeah, I didn't know he was holding the whole thing together like T.J. Watt
Oh,
does for this city here.
what
It's like,
was his
wow,
what's his name what was his name in Buffalo? What was the God, what was his name? Defensive back. I can't think about it. I can't think of his name.
for Davius White.
Yeah, there he is. There he is. Like when he got hurt,
The whole
the defense
defense.
was like, nope.
Yeah,
So,
like I mean, you would think a corner way in the back in the defensive backfield is not holding the glue together, but like I
well, you
said,
think about it, you can take liberties up front, knowing that you have that center fielder back there. You know what I mean? You can take more chances. You're not, I'm not saying like you're playing reckless, but you can be more aggressive, put more
a little
pressure.
more free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. But you're right though. Because I have Denver's defense in my one league. I picked them up like week 2 before they really became elite. I'm like, I will take them. Also, I don't know how they let this happen. They let me claim because they do the waivers real weird. It's based on your standings. It resets every week. So I was
What?
like, yeah, and it's a 20-team league. I'm in 7th place, so I was like the 13th waiver. They somehow let me pick up Chubb. I'm like, you guys are stupid.
What? Nobody didn't draft him. They just he was on the wire,
He was on
and
the
they
wire.
let him pick him up. Wow.
Yep. And I
Whoa.
had Jerome Ford. I was rolling out Jerome Ford. I kind of went the zero RB thing. I got Achan over there and Jerome Ford, and now don't have Jerome Ford. Now I have Chubb. So I'm like, you guys are dumb. But I am not excited about playing him because he has Cleveland on him, and I understand it is Nicholas fucking Chubb. I understand this.
Mm-hmm.
But just Deshaun is like a fucking cancer, man. He is a cancer.
Yes.
But he's like a contagious cancer. Like, I don't even think that's a real thing. Like,
Yeah,
he's
cancer.
a
You can't
cancer
just
by
spread it.
osmosis.
But if there was one, it would be him. Yeah, he's
Yeah. Absolute
and
fucking
the
terrible.
coach. the coach has pretty much hitched his job to him. I mean, like,
dummy.
for you to not give Jameis this crack already, you pretty much you're
And this
putting
is
your
a former
job on
coach
the
of the year,
line.
by the way. Former coach of the year, by the way. Just putting it out there.
He's
Fucking NFL.
he's really putting his job on the line. I don't know what. Does
Dude, he
Deshaun
made
got pictures of him? And
I was gonna say Stefanski may have been putting his fingers in the hookers' bums too. I don't know.
Or he put them in each other's or something, because
something.
there's no reason he should be still sticking with Deshaun. I mean, everyone in Cleveland screaming for Jameis. Everyone on these shows is screaming Jameis. I mean, little kids on the street that don't even know who Jameis Winston is screaming for Jameis. Everybody's screaming for Jameis, and he's just ignoring it. It's like,
I'm gonna steal this from the fantasy footballers because I listen to them religiously. They brought up a point today, and I'm like, oh, that's a son of a bitch, isn't it? Wow. They said during this current streak with Deshaun Watson is literally worse than when the Browns were like 1-49 over that long period of time. Their offense is actually worse than when they won a game. Like, that's nuts. Like, there's also the only team that has not scored 20 points in the game.
yes, I heard that. I heard the 20 points. I heard about. They haven't even crossed 200 yards of offense yet. I was like, wow, what? Schools are doing that? Like,
dude, there was a game where Amari had like $120. How is that?
That means the rest of everybody else had nothing, because they haven't made it to 200 yards yet. 200? Wow.
Well, let me ask you this. We'll touch on these four teams. All right. With the departure of Amari, is there any redeemable value in Cleveland? Anything?
What do you mean, like fantasy player wise, or you just mean just?
Yeah. Like, if Amari can't get it done, do you think Judy's gonna like?
No. I mean, Chubb has been running against stacked boxes his whole life, because Cleveland hasn't been, great at any point. I mean, except for when maybe Flacco was throwing a pill. Like, you would have to just trot out Chubb. I mean, I wouldn't do Judy, and until they make the quarterback change. I'm not excited about anyone.
I almost feel like even if they do the quarterback change, I mean, you got Njoku. Like, that's real. Like, you don't have a. I am not hitching any wagon to Judy. Like,
nothing. Yeah, and Njoku, I mean, because of the tight end landscape, he would still take a chance.
Yeah. Oakland, well, Vegas. I mean,
Tucker is about it, and even when he's number one, he's been propelled into the number one spot, and he's not really producing. So
he goosed last week. He absolute goosed 0.
Nothing. Straight up egg, huh?
Goose. Yeah.
That's because Brock Bowers when he was playing the Steelers, that's all I seen. Brock Bowers. I'm like, man, if y'all don't stop. And I was playing against him in 3 different leagues, and I'm like, y'all don't stop Brock Bowers. That was all he threw it to. That was it.
Yep.
Nobody else got the ball.
And I
dump offs of Madison.
I mentioned that the episode before. I think it was on Saturday. I was like, I don't know, with this quarterback change, man, Tucker is either going to be fine or he's going to do nothing. And I don't know where that's going to be. And we found out. So I'm going to do everything in my power to not play him. I may still have to. I'm hoping that maybe they game plan. I don't know. I don't know because our defense is not intimidating at all.
Yeah, before the
You know.
games began, you see that I picked up that DJ Turner guy for 1 second, then I dropped him and grabbed Noah Brown. I'm glad I did. I got more points, but I lost. I got blew out. But that DJ Turner dude he didn't really, I think he had 2 catches or 1 or 2 catches, yeah. And Tucker had 0. That was really surprising for him to have 0.
Yeah.
It was all Bowers. Bowers and a couple dump offs to Madison out the backfield. That's all I recalled him ever doing.
Yeah.
The whole game. It was
I'm gonna hope
the
it's an
Bowers show.
anomaly, but I'm really not trying to play it. But I don't think anything really changes in Vegas there. There's a lot of people saying that Garrett Wilson is gonna take a step back now because of Devontae, and I get it because Rodgers loves his 1 targets, and that's his dude. And I don't know. I don't think that's correct. I think they can both absolutely eat. I think they're both going to benefit each other. So
I definitely see them coexisting.
Yeah, I don't get the whole idea of now it's
Well, I mean, other receivers besides them 2 are going to take a step back. Like Lazard, he's Rodgers' favorite, but he's not Rodgers' favorite over Devontae. So I think Lazard is going to take a back seat. Conklin, you can forget. Any other Mike Williams, you can forget it. I'd be surprised if he make it 2 or 3 more games without getting traded, Mike Williams. And plus, after he dropped that pass on Monday night and Rodgers pretty much threw him under the bus in front of the whole fucking world, Mike Williams can forget it. But I think Devontae and Wilson are going to coexist because Devontae's not fast as he used to be. He's not that spry young chicken. So, but Wilson is. So I think Devontae is more of Rodgers' possession receiver, and the home run hitter is going to be Wilson when he's ready to take a deep shot. I think, they're going to definitely benefit each other because you can't play just Devontae because you got to worry about Wilson. And now you can't just play Wilson because you got to worry about Devontae. So I think they lay down hand in hand. And he's going to still go to Lazard because Aaron Rodgers is a fucking prick. So he's going to definitely go after who he want to force the ball to. Outside of that, good thing Breece Hall can catch out the backfield. Breece is going to continue to, eat. But those 3rd and 4th wide receivers, they can forget it. Shut it down. It's over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Buffalo here, they needed something desperately.
They did.
I think everyone's going to benefit now. Keon Coleman, I feel like now he can play whatever game that he can play.
If he's not seeing number 1 corners and stuff like that, now he can sneak under the radar. Yeah.
Tupac Shakir, he'll do whatever he can do. They dropped MVS because why do you even roster him? Absolutely terrible. Curtis Samuel, just stop playing football. You're not.
Yeah, just
stop it. Just stop.
Yeah.
I think Kincaid goes ham now. I think he's going to go back to Kincaid of old. If you could trade for Kincaid, I feel like at this point, trade not like in real football. Fantasy.
Yeah.
If you can get him on your roster, you find someone that's not really in tune with how football works, you could definitely get like a buy low thing. Get him for a bag of chips. You know? So
because Amari comes in there, he takes. All that heat that was on the back of them players' necks and all that attention, Amari comes in and throws the shade over it, and now they're cool, they're calmed down, the sun isn't beaming on them, so they can operate now, and Amari,
scary.
And it's like Amari's gonna, no matter how much heat you put on him, you can only hold him down for so long. So soon as probably that first game, Amari's probably not gonna go crazy because everybody's gonna be focused on him, and Josh is gonna feed all the other ones, and then when the defenses say, "Dang, we can't just watch Amari," and that's when they start creeping over and start looking at Kincaid and Tupac Shakur, and all of a sudden Amari explodes. I mean,
Watch Amari goes for like 3 for 70 and a tutty. That's my feeling.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Just
yeah. I mean, no matter if you got the number one corner on him, Amari can, go up and contest and get a contested catch. So even if he's covered with the best corner, you still throw it to Amari, and most of the time he's gonna come down with it. So
right,
that's how special he
very
is.
Very good underrated receiver.
Yes, I'm surprised he's moved to so many teams. It's like usually good players like that aren't just being shopped around like that, but for some reason he has.
Yeah.
He's been great everywhere he went. He was great with the Raiders. Well, not great, but he was good enough with the Raiders. Great in Dallas.
Yeah.
If you can get him the ball in Cleveland, I mean, yeah. We'll see what Josh turns him into.
Interesting little thing that came out about an hour before the show. Drake May got an MRI after practice. That's never.
And they said he fully practiced too, and I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about what's going on with that. So definitely, well, I mean, let's be honest. Who's really like out there playing Patriots? But still in teams that well, I mean, they'll go back to Brisket. So who knows? I mean, we can briefly touch on the. Well, you know what? Let's leave the local QB change until Friday because that we're doing the show one day early.
Yeah,
just because
and that's a Sunday night game anyway.
Know what's happening? Yeah, because we don't really know what's happening yet because that can flip flop.
Right. It's a surprising story. That's like what? I would imagine that would happen after a loss, but well, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I sure. Sure.
He said, sure.
Just, we're fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. I was really expecting to get Darnold off of the waiver, and Kemp is an asshole. And
I couldn't believe it. When I was looking, I do my 3 a.m. shopping, and I looked, and then I seen the waivers go through, and I was like, I swore you had him. I was just like, what? Because you pretty much told me you were grabbing them, and I was just like, and you had the high waiver priority. I was like, Kemp?
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, Kemp?
I was like, I cannot believe your homer ass didn't grab Russell Wilson. I would have bet my
him.
My left
and he dropped Justin Fields' homer ass for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It just. I mean, I'm not like I was thrilled, but I would definitely like to have that at least bare minimum for a trade piece.
Yeah.
For someone that didn't draft well.
After you told me you were grabbing them, I was talking to myself and I was just like, man, that was pretty smart. You was like, I'm going to grab the quarterback that's going to eat into your points. So every time you score, I'm getting a little piece of that. And I was just like, dang, that's a good strategy. And thank you, Kim.
I mean, no, and yeah, really. And not for nothing. I mean, too, it still would have, it had little, passive benefits too. I mean, it's not like I am thrilled to play Stafford in the current landscape. Even though Kupp is coming back, it's still.
Yeah, I'm about to say, he's coming back.
I'm still like, all right, well, cool. What else do you have for me? I need something more. But definitely feel better that Kupp's back. But would have really liked to have that other quarterback on my bench to at least have a pivot option, but also a trade piece for someone that didn't draft well, someone that didn't pay attention to their bye weeks, and they drafted 2 of the 3 quarterbacks at the same bye week. Well, it's like, well, guess what? Do you want to have Darnold or do you want to have Bo Nix? Just saying.
For those of you who don't know, follow the show. Me and Rich are playing each other this week.
Yes, we are.
I am trying not to give out any information. It's not like he doesn't know any information that I don't know because he thinks exactly the way I think. So I can't hide it if I wanted to. So, but yeah, and I have a lot of Minnesota Vikings, and him playing Darnold would have been a great strategy because if you have the quarterback and the person you're playing has the receivers, every time who's going to throw it? Every time his receiver scores, the quarterback gets some love, to a kickback of love as well. So, yeah, now, that was big.
it was. Now, it still can benefit me, though, because, I mean, let's say they have a really bad game. Well, yeah, two of your players are, two of your pass catchers are not doing what they could have done, but the projected points for a quarterback are going to be drastically higher. So, so it's definitely one of those risk reward things, but they're also playing Detroit. So like,
my thing is, unless somehow Detroit and Minnesota does have a defense, unless Detroit's defense find its legs or something, this is going to be it's ridiculous to think this was not going to be a shootout, a straight crazy, Detroit. Any game with Detroit involved. Yeah, last week we said it was going to be them and the Cowboys, and it was going to be ridiculous, but really it was just Detroit by themselves, putting almost a 50 burger on the Cowboys. So Detroit's going to produce no matter what.
They really are. Well, let's jump into these games here. One more Londonian game. Thank
Londonian.
God.
This one's even worse than last week.
Well, I don't know why I'm starting with the London game. I should probably do the Thursday game, right? That's probably,
yeah. We did just skip right to London.
Sure did. Well, I think because we talked so much about Saints and the Broncos already, we were like, yeah. So, Saints at Broncos, or I'm sorry, Broncos at Saints.
This is in New Orleans?
It is in New Orleans, so it is a Sean Payton revenge game. Denver -3, over under of 37.5. God damn it. Why do you fucking keep doing this, guys? Like, even if they had their projected roster, like that would have been Derek Carr against Bo Nix. Like, that's what you scheduled. But you're getting
Spencer Rattler
against Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's kind of a lateral move, to be honest, but like just in general, looking at the scheduling, it's like that's what you fucking thought was going to be a good thing here. Like, all right, fine, okay, great.
I mean, newsflash, NFL: the coaches don't get on the field and play.
Right.
Yeah.
And with all the injuries that we've already talked about, Olave, Shaheen, he's out, or Shaheen, I don't know, Shaheed is
Shaheed.
out. Shaheen. Deshaun Watson, Beanhead. I don't know. You got Kamara. Like, the best rappers ever, right? Dylon.
And Dylon, I spit that hot fire. Yes.
Exactly. So, you got your wide out one. You may even have your tight end one. Who even knows at this point? Taysom Hill's out. I mean, realistically, you are going to play Kamara, and that is really it. Because even in a plus matchup, knowing that that's the only person, you are going to be isolated. That's why it's funny, because you always hear players are like, "Oh man, I wish the other team around them would be hurt." It's like, no, you don't. You don't want that. You want a full stable of your wide receiver room. They're a wide receiver 5 when everyone's healthy because they're a wide receiver 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that works. just because they're now healthy does not mean, oh, man, now they're going to eat it. No, they're going to run cardio. That's what they're doing. So I don't know. I mean, obviously you're gonna have to play Kamara. You have to.
Yes.
Um,
Do you,
I'm
if you had
terrible.
any Broncos, do you start any of them?
No. Why would I have?
You had
I shouldn't have any Broncos anyway. No. Broncos.
Cameron Sutton, you wouldn't start him if you had him.
So in a deep,
Javonte Williams.
no, God, just shoot that guy out of a cannon. He's terrible. He absolutely just like he is the Tinder of a he's the Tinder cat not catfish. What is it? No, it's called catfish. What the fuck is that thing called? The catfishing? Whenever you oh God, what is that
Bacon's
called?
like somebody you're not. That's catfishing, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's what I thought. I'm like, for whatever reason, I couldn't think because I'm stupid. Yeah, so Javonte Williams is literally the catfish Tinder date of the NFL. He looked great for a while, and then you finally went to the restaurant. You're like, the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like,
I knew to stay away. I knew not to draft that dude after riding that terrible train last year.
Yep. I mean, he showed great things a few years ago, and then just nope. So apparently they're going to start They're going to start playing their younger players, like the Vele kid, the Franklin kid. Great. That's super. I will definitely pay attention and care in a few years. 100%. Right now, no, I don't want any of that. I mean, Bo Nix for the win. If you really are like a masochist, I don't want any of that, man. Like, especially if you're in a regular league, like, dude, what are you doing? There's no reason to start this guy.
Yeah, if you're in a non-deep league, yeah.
He's on waivers in this league. Like, that is what's happening. And there's bye weeks, and people are like, nah, I'm good.
He said, no.
We are good. I don't. So I wouldn't touch that with any part of my body. I don't want any of that. I don't want any part of this game. And I know there's probably not a Pens game, so I'm gonna be forced to watch this fucking abortion. So I'm like,
You straight up called it an abortion.
that's where I'm at with it, man. I'm just like,
oh man. All right.
Not thrilled.
Let's get to the London.
Let's go international. So speaking of an abortion, Patriots at Jaguars. Good gravy. And now that Drake May not be playing, so now you're going to go back to brisket sandwich against this.
Wow, you're reading into that little update about his knee. That you just ruled him out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either way. They're the same. They're the same person. Like, one's just older and been in the league and still is pretty bad at his job. The other one just hasn't played enough to be good yet. So it's, oh god, I am gonna find some shit to do at 9:30 in the morning. I promise you that. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be something productive. I promise. Oh god, I don't look. Take your pick, man. Take your pick. Everyone's on Dearness Johnson's Johnson.
Yeah,
did there. It's a dick joke. I don't know. Look, ETN's still banged up. Bigsby is a coin flip because he's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Brian Thomas is probably the only player on that team that's like, yeah, I'm good. Ingram, yeah. In this landscape, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's first game back. He very well could turn around again, but he has the upside. The field's going to be shitty, as we always know, but you know what? They play over there enough. So
They should be used to it. They're a home team.
But
Yeah.
I just don't give a fuck about these first 2 games. They're just terrible. Even if they were healthy, gross.
Yeah.
Just gross. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I'm like super negative this episode, but I'm just kind of like, dude, what are we doing?
No, I mean, if Drake May is playing, some people would probably start that Demario Douglas guy as far as a receiver goes because he got peppered with targets. But if it's back to brisket sandwich, yeah, it's Patriots. You could begin. I don't know. If I had Ramondre Stevenson, I probably would have to trot him out there. Not really confident in Antonio Gibson. In this deeper league, I probably I don't know.
Play Dearness,
Not really.
bitch. Don't do it. Do it.
Hmm?
Play Dearness. Don't be a bitch. Go ahead.
No, I mean, the only reason why Dearness got a lot of touches and he's getting a lot of buzz is because Jacksonville was losing that game and Tank basically got scripted out of it and they had to play like he's a third down type of catching back out the backfield. I don't think the Patriots are going to run away from the Jaguars, so it's probably going to be a Tank.
What? I didn't even touch on this. Yeah, Jacksonville is 5.5. They're getting 5.5, and the over under is 42.5. I do not understand how you think this offense is gonna be about almost a tutty better than the Thursday game. So okay.
Well, where they got that point, Toto, where they must think the Patriots is going to light up some fireworks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, like you said, Brian Thomas. Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. Christian Kirk.
Ingram, he's been like underwhelming as hell this year too. Like that's not even a good.
He has. He shows flashes here and there, but it's been the addition of Brian Thomas has pretty much took off of his plate. So, which I don't get is because last year it was Calvin Ridley there and Kirk was still eating. So it's like it's not like there's another premier receiver. I mean, Brian Thomas is, I'm not gonna say he's similar to Calvin Ridley, but he's another premier receiver. So the offense already showed it can support 2 decent receivers, and for some reason Christian Kirk is not getting the looks that he was getting last year. Ingram, like you said, tight end landscape, and how many targets he got hit with. Yeah, I would definitely take a chance with that. The running back, I would go Bigsby, because, like I said, New England's not going to run away with it, and he's not going to get games scripted out. So, Dearness Johnson, I mean, I'm pretty much got him for the games that I know that Jacksonville is going to be trailing in, and they will be using. They will be game scripted out of the running game, and they will be using a dump off running back. That's about it. I don't really see nothing else there. That's it.
Because there isn't. Wow, really? Okay, fine, whatever, I guess. So Seahawks is Falcons. Atlanta's getting they're -3 with an over under of 51.5.
It'd be a sneaky high scoring game. You don't see it. They both got shitty defenses.
I get it.
And they both got quarterbacks that will sling the pill. They both got weapons on the outside. Both got great running backs.
Yeah, that just seems like a lot. Now they are going to be in a dome, so that obviously helps, but I don't know.
Oh, so this one's in Atlanta. Yeah.
It just feels way higher than I expected it to be. But yeah, it definitely.
I mean, what do you don't see? I mean, like, what players would you not start on either squad? I mean,
it's not necessarily that. It's just kind of one of those deals where I'm so afraid if just with Kirk getting hit, just one hit can get because that's like bad injury, man. Like,
Achilles.
I don't know. I mean, I do not know, but I would definitely start both running backs for the
Yeah.
Falcons.
Bijan,
Bijan and Algier. Absolutely.
Algier. I would start. I don't know about Kyle Pitts. I'm not a Kyle Pitts fan. I would start
No.
London. London's falling. I would start Mooney, and those are eligible.
Mooney. He loves Mooney.
Mooney went crazy a couple weeks ago, so yeah, Mooney's fine. He is the second receiver there. I wouldn't even start Ray-Ray McCloud. I am starting Ray-Ray McCloud. You're gonna see. Seattle, you start Metcalf. You start. I don't know about Lockett. JSN and Lockett are kind of. I thought JSN had pulled way ahead of Lockett. Starting to look like they're still kind of right next to each other. Like no one's really separating from each other. So, I mean, JSN probably get more looks and more targets, but Lockett's still producing. So, definitely would start the running back. K9. There's no tight end in Seattle. There hasn't never been. Has there ever been a tight end in Seattle?
Jimmy Graham, I think, for a while, right?
Oh yeah. A while back. Okay, I want to say Seattle ever had a tight end? Yeah,
I think that's kind of really where it's at, right? Like the fact that it's Metcalf and like that's all you're chucking to. Like that worries me. Like that, I mean, doesn't worry me. Like I don't give a shit. Both these teams could die in a fire. I would be fine the next day. I don't care. But in general, from like a looking at what fantasy implications are there, like I just don't see Seattle being able to keep up. Like, but also DK. Oh god damn it! This could be
one of those things where. It's one of the things where there are teams that only have one go-to option. The Cowboys is a perfect example of just CeeDee Lamb. But when the other defense on the other side can't, everybody knows they're going to, and the defense can't do anything about it. Those players are productive regardless. So Atlanta's defense is not good enough. They know Metcalf's getting the ball. They're not good enough to stop him. Shit ain't going to happen. Now, when Metcalf went up against the 49ers,
it's like being told you're going to get punched in the face, and they tell you exactly when they're going to punch you in the face. You're like, all right.
And you still like go to sleep because you couldn't even brace hard enough to even take the punch. Yeah. So, but when they go up against good teams, like when Seattle went against the 49ers, Metcalf, he got shut out because it's like, okay, we know you're going here, and we got enough pieces in place to stop it. Atlanta doesn't have that. I mean, that's why Dallas 1 week is putting up 30 points and CeeDee Lamb has 290 yards and 2 touchdowns because they don't have the defense to stop them. But then when they go up against, I mean, they beat the Steelers, but CeeDee Lamb didn't get off because the Steelers put all efforts into stopping CeeDee Lamb from being productive.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah. I may be too hard in this game. It could be fun. Now watch it be like a 10-9 game or some shit.
I know. You don't put the kibosh on it.
Yep. All right. Titans at Bills. Heavy favorite here. Yeah, heavy favorite here. Buffalo's -9, over under a 40 and a half. Yeah. I'm not surprised by that. I mean, the line probably moved drastically with the Amari news.
With the Amari addition. Yeah, it was probably 4, and then as soon as Amari just adds 5 points to it. Like, here's 5 more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's probably a good take there. Yeah. So I don't know what James Cook's issue is. I don't know if he's going to play. What that situation's going to look like there. I'm hoping he doesn't.
It's definitely a watch the practice participation all weekend. And even that's not safe because He seemed like he was fine last week, and then about an
Yeah,
hour before kickoff, okay, he's
He'll
not playing.
I mean, he's absolutely going to play. There's no reason that he wouldn't at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, Amari, get him out there. I think at this point, though, until you can see kind of really what's going on, you probably want to chill on the Buffalo receivers. Just to kind of, if you can. I mean, obviously, if you have to, you're probably in a position where you got to start Kincaid. I get that. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I feel like it's a good thing to trade for if you can, because you can get them. You can probably get them pretty low. But
Let me ask you this: if you had Amari, would you try him out there first week?
Oh,
I mean, it's kind of
absolutely.
hard. I'm about to say it's hard to just sit him down. Period.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's gonna do something. He's not gonna probably ball out, but
yeah,
people were starting him weekly, and he's playing in Cleveland. So how is
Great
this
point.
going to be? How is this going to be any worse than that?
Yeah. Some people be like, "Oh, he has to get acclimated to the offense." Man, they draw it up like a playground. Like, this is you, and then you turn here and I throw it. They probably got like 5 plays like that. Like, you don't need the whole offense. We got a little pack.
Josh got a gun, and Amari got wheels. There we go. We'll just I throw and you just fall under it. Yeah, good man.
Yep.
All right. That's just what it's going to be, man. So
that's the name of the play call.
Yeah, I think Kincaid will probably have a great game, but because of Amari. So,
so you're saying if I had like Shakir or I had Coleman, you would wait to see how it.
Yeah, just wait and don't. They could get play, but once again, if they were, let's put it this way: if you were playing them on a regular basis before, then continue to do so. If they were on your bench, do not elevate them from your bench just because Amari showed up. Wait.
Good point.
That's a dangerous game to play. I mean, I firmly believe, and I mean, I'm not trying to renege on it or anything like that. I fully believe that everyone is going to be much, much better. I think the biggest winner out of all of these trades was Buffalo. Because it's just for whatever, it's going to flip a switch and it's going to elevate that whole offensive scheme. Because they're last in the NFL on a ton of metrics.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is just going to be that adrenaline rush that they needed, and it's just they're going to be real scary real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of my advice on it. If you weren't playing them, if you weren't playing those guys, don't
get excited.
Yeah, just know that you may have something brewing here that could really be a really solid flex play here. I mean, you're not going to be like, oh, now Coleman's the 101. Settle. But he may get you more than 3 points a week now. So there you go. The Titans, Pollard is the only guy with juice, which is weird and wild. Everyone else is a no for me. I can't.
It's a true fade. You think because Calvin Ridley was cussing out the media and all of that, you think the squeaky wheel gets the oil or anything like that?
Hello, sir.
What's up? Rich.
It's not me, I promise. So, yeah.
You think Calvin Ridley gets targets because he?
No.
Did you see his little interview where he was like, "I gotta get the fucking ball earlier in the game" and all of this, and he was screaming and hollering and ranting? Did you even see that?
No, because I don't care. I just don't care.
Long story short, yeah, man, this guy, they caught him in front of his locker, and he pretty much was. He asked the media how many targets I get, and they was like, "Well, you got a bunch in the fourth quarter." He was like, and they bleeped it out. He was like, "I gotta get some targets early in the fucking game. Throw me he dropped a bunch of F-bombs, and Everybody just was like, looked at him with this blank stare, and like, it clipped to the rest of the show, but it was like he snapped and
So
saying that he's not getting targets or he's not getting looked at.
there are two things. Either you need to get open, or two, you need to realize your quarterback is dog shit. Sorry. It just is what it is. Like, you were in a real bad situation. Sucks. But sometimes it sucks to suck. Like, I don't tell you. Pollard is the only one worthwhile to play.
Mm-hmm.
Go Pollard,
Yep.
everyone else just
Fade.
because and while Levi Jeans is out there chucking the whatever he tries to do, no one is gonna have any fun. No one's enjoying being a wide receiver in Tennessee. It's all terrible. All right, next. Gives me a fucking heartburn. All right, the battle of the hillbilly state here. Looks like it's Bengals at Browns.
It's a hillbilly state.
Yep. Cincinnati minus 5.5, over under of 41.5. Yeah, so cool. Here's the problem. Obviously, your first thing is going to be like, "Hey, fire up all your Bengals. Let's go." Yeah, I get that. I super get it. But Cleveland has a defense. Like, for all of their faults, all like 943 faults Cleveland has, their defense is not one of them.
That defense just held Philadelphia to only 20 points. I mean, and that's in Philly. So yeah, they do pack their defense. I mean, they have a stout group over there. So, and Cincy is questionable at best, but I mean, you can't sit Higgins, you can't sit
No,
Chase, can't sit
you're
Chase
not
Brown either.
any of them. No,
Yeah, you
you're just
Burrow,
not.
you can't.
Yeah.
Don't expect a large return. Yeah, it's not going to
Right.
get out of hand. That's why I understand that Cleveland has nothing but Chubb, but because of their defense, that plays into his favor. It's like that defense is going to keep the scoring low enough that Chubb is always going to be a part of the script.
Do you think that Chubb is going to come out from the gate and be the workhorse, or do you think it's going to be like a
No.
mixture of Foreman and Chubb? They're going to limit him pretty. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
Chubb's a fun play, but I don't think it's a great play.
Yeah, I imagine it's like every other series or something like that. I mean, I got Chubb. I'm going to start him because, I mean, I love Jerome Ford is pretty much out, and I was riding with him, so I am going to start Chubb, but I'm not
And you
expecting a
dropped him,
large
right?
return. Ford, yeah, because he has some type of hamstring problem or something like that.
Yeah. And it's not like he
So
was really reinventing
he
the wheel
wasn't
out there
tearing
going
it
around.
up. Yeah, he wasn't killing it or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't imagine him just coming out and just like, let's give it to him 30 times. I mean, it's like I said, like they're going to alternate series or something like that.
Okay, I thought it was going to be cooler. It's 64 for that game. The temperature.
Yeah, I mean, gruesome injury like we seen that Monday night against the Steelers. Yeah, they're not going to just run them into the first game.
Yeah. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go through here. So let's kind of blitz these and try to keep this a lower amount of time so people can go sleepy buys.
Yep.
Texans at Packers, Green Bay minus 2.5, 47.5 over under. Yeah, look, other than Jalen Reed, like we have been saying for weeks, everyone else is a bit of a, we'll see. Dobbs kind of
Crapshoot.
came back and did his thing. We'll see.
Dobbs will follow that up with a 0. That's just the player he is. I rode that train last year, and I rode it a little bit this year, and I got rid of him in my other league. I'm like, I'm not doing this back and forth. Get me 21 week 0 the next week. I'm not riding that ride again.
No.
So, same thing with Dontavian Wicks. Drop 26 1 week, 0 the next. The only consistent one here is Jaden Reed, but
yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's going to be a fun game. I mean, it's the Texans. It's high scoring offenses. So roll all your Texans out.
Yeah, it's good to see Mixon back. Except Hutchinson. Don't play Hutchinson. I thought it was funny. He dropped a goose. So it's like all that
hoopla hype.
Yes. You know,
like I wanted to sort the 0. Like, God damn, you stole the 0 from me.
That was my 0. Yeah,
let's push through.
Great to see Mixon back, though. Tank. Tank did what I thought Tank was going to do, so I'm a little sad I couldn't pull off the trade, but kind of see how that goes. Dolphins at Colts. Indy -3, 43.5.
Who at the Colts?
Who did I say?
You just said Colts. I don't like you said Colts. I said
Dolphins at the
Dolphins. Colts. Oh, that's what you said. Okay.
Until Tua comes back, I don't know. Hopefully, Achane is back from his concussion. I think at this point you have to sit Hill. You have to sit Tyreek. You have to. You can't. Okay, maybe you don't have to, but if you're in a regular league and you have any lateral type of option or anything that's even remotely close, dude, get it out there. You can't
take it out. Yeah,
you can't. If Achane is healthy, roll him and Mostert. Absolutely. I don't know if Taylor is back yet. I don't know what his deal is. We'll see. I know the Goodson kid looked really good last week. I haven't really heard anything about Taylor. That means it's Wednesday, so we should start to probably hear some things. But back from IR Magic, Pittman did his thing.
Scored a touchdown on top of that.
Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. Who knows what's happening with Richardson? I feel like if he's in, all the receivers are out. Can't play it. You can't. Because you have no idea what it's going to be. If it's going to be anything, it could just be him running for 150 yards. Who knows?
If I was Josh Downs owner, I'm pissed. Because Flacco went to Josh Downs like he was Antonio Brown in the heyday or something. I mean, he went to him like almost every play. I'm like, dang, he really loves this dude.
Well, I mean, look, he gets open, he plays hard. I mean, you earn your targets, man. Like that's how that should work. But yeah, that's really about it there. Obviously playing in a dome, so no weather is going to be pertinent. All right, Lions and Vikings here. Minnesota -2, over under of only 50.5. That is interesting. I thought that would be.
So you mean to tell me the Falcons and the Seattle game got more points than the Detroit Minnesota game? Oh, okay.
I mean, I get it.
Word of suggestion is start everybody on both sides.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's kind of where it's at. Really, not really much really to delve in there. Anybody that you have, do, except if you're playing the defenses. Don't do that. That's terrible. It's a terrible idea. All right, last game on the docket, and then we'll get out of here. So, Philly at the Giants. So, Philly -3. Only -3. Wow. Over under of 42.5. Okay. So.
Oh, this is the Saquon revenge game.
Yeah, it is. Which
And it's going to be in the Meadowlands. Oh, he's going to run wild. Oh, man.
yeah, I don't get that over under at all. I mean, if the spread was more like 9, I would understand maybe that over under. But the spread's only -3, so like they're really
They think the
expecting the Giants.
Giants is just going to be in the game? I mean, really?
Yeah, I don't see that, man. I feel like
If Neighbors comes back, maybe, but still don't really see it.
It's still Daniel. It's still Daniel Jones who. That
Yes. Single-handedly lost me a game last week. I don't know why I believed in him. I just thought Cincinnati's defense was so terrible that Daniel Jones was going to put up all these points. This motherfucker showed up like at a Halloween party. Instead of showing up as somebody else, he showed up as himself, and it was terrible. It's like, man, he really showed up as Daniel Jones.
He surely did. Did not wear a mask. That was Danny Dimes all day.
Terrible.
Yeah. So with that being said, I would expect either Devontae or AJ to have a down game, just because I think Saquon. They don't need to, and I think Saquon is going to get force fed.
Yes.
I'm not really thrilled with playing Jalen Hurts, but
you're not sitting him.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sitting him.
Go ahead and sit him. Feel bad about it.
Yeah. I'll do that. We'll get right on that. Absolutely. But yeah. I mean, I would. What I would like to see, honestly, is Singletary sit again and get Tyrone Tracy back in there, because that dude has the juice.
Well, he proved his worth. I mean, even if Singletary comes back, it's going to quickly show. I mean, it has already shown that he's the better back, but now it's going to be. We're going to find out. We're finding out Tracy's the better back, not with Singletary hurt. We're going to find out Tracy's the better back with Singletary as they alternate snaps, and they're going to see clearly that Tracy is your starting back for the rest of the year.
He might wiggle his way into my lineup, just so you know.
I seen him sitting there, and I was just like, I know you're not going to end the week, but there ain't no way you're going to sit him.
Yeah, I was waiting to kind of hear some more info, but that's not gonna. He's not a Cam Akers start for me, kind of thing, But yeah, if Neighbors is in, start him. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no reason not to, but I don't know. That over under seems weird to me. That's probably not going to be a great game to watch. Well, it's going to be a bloodbath a little bit, but it is also divisional, so there is that part of it. So who knows?
Always that divisional aspect.
Yeah. So that is it for the Monday or the early games and the Thursday game. We will be back on Friday instead of Saturday, because I got some shit to do Friday or Saturday. So deal with your life. I don't know if it's gonna be 9:30 or 10. We'll kind of figure that out. Probably 10. That's kind of how it works, I would think.
Usually Friday's wrapping up the week, so yeah, it takes me a little bit longer to close down shop.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, we'll be there. We'll cover the late games, the Monday game, the Sunday night game, and kind of talk about what happened on Thursday. And hopefully we were wrong or right. I don't know. I didn't really look at my lineup enough to know if I need to be right or wrong. Well, actually, no, I need to be wrong. Kamara needs to get an ACL or something. Sorry. No, I don't want that. That's terrible. I just let him get like a concussion or something. Like nothing bad. Just, have him pull an Olave. That'd be great.
No, please.
You just plead with me?
No, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I can imagine something like that happening. I'm like, oh, please, no.
Thank you, everyone, for popping in here. We had some really good views on our last episode yesterday, so that was pretty great. So, share it out there. Anyone that wants to listen to two idiots talk about football that don't really know anything, That's what we do. But we'll see you Friday, and then Saturday, and then Tuesday. It never ends. Work hard. All right. I'm going to go
Thanks
to
for
bed.
everybody for tuning
I got to
in.
work in the morning. Bye.
Yep.